My personal motivation for being involved in Indivisible is that I am tired of Democrats losing. They've lost the House, they've lost the Senate, and now they've lost the presidency.
Right.
And I think the reason for that is that they are not bold enough. So that's part of the Indivisible Guide. It says that we should pressure Democrats to grow a spine and be bold resistors to Trump and the dangerous GOP agenda.
Okay, I got you. And what makes you uniquely qualified to actually work 24/7 as an activist?
Well, I don't think I'm uniquely qualified. I think anybody can do it. However, I have been an activist since I was a little kid, actually. My parents used to take me out to protest as a child. So when I came to the States, I got involved with Move On at the start of the Iraq War. So I've been an activist ever since. And I don't think necessarily these skills are the reason why I'm succeeding or why our group is succeeding. I think the reason we are succeeding now is that everybody is focused, is motivated, and we realize what a dangerous person Trump is.
And what I think is amazing is that when I first heard your story, you don't have to say which country, but I think that it's important that people in this country, America, where we're, speaking from, understand what it is like to be raised under a dictatorship. What is the vibration in a household under a dictatorship?
When I was growing up, for example, we were always speaking very quietly in our house. We were afraid that neighbors would hear us. We were afraid that our thoughts would be shared with the secret police, and that was very dangerous. My parents refused to become party members, so we felt that we were under imminent threat. For example, we had a radio in our house, and it was tuned very carefully to the Voice of America because that was the only way we could get more credible news. And even though that was American propaganda, it was better than the one coming from the state. And if ever I played with that, I would get a spanking because that signal was jammed by the authorities, and it was very carefully tuned so we could hear something. So I was constantly aware of what it means to be repressed, I knew what it means to stand in a line and have shortages, and that I do not want to see that here.
And can we say what country? You prefer not to? It's up to you.
Well, of course, yeah, no, this was in Romania.
And I think it's very important because people in America, we grew up with freedoms. I grew up a child of feminism. I grew up with things that people, fought for, and yet I feel, so many people feel we've lost so much ground. So many different groups, societal groups, feel like we've just really taken a beating. And how long have you been demanding a town hall to have this conversation with Senator Feinstein about the beatings that humanity's been taking over this current regime?
Our first demand for a town hall was on Valentine's Day. We had meetings before, and we asked for meetings with Senator Feinstein herself, but the first time we explicitly asked for a town hall was at that time. And then we've had a lot of rallies since then. In fact, we were at Senator Feinstein's office every Tuesday since the inauguration. We've had meetings with her staff. We've sent letters. We made calls. So it's been a very long time, and we were really happy to see that she basically had to come out and talk to us. She could not hide from us anymore.
And why did you pick Senator Feinstein as somebody that you wanted to request this town hall from?
Well, Senator Feinstein is one of the most conservative Democrats. And she also voted with Trump 35% of the time. In fact, maybe it's a little more than that. So she really needs to hear from us. She really needs to understand that her constituents are being victimized by Trump. Every time she votes with him, she legitimizes him and empowers him to victimize her constituents. So we felt that she really needs to change her ways. Business as usual got us Trump, so we can't do that anymore.
And what do you mean about her voting with him? Explain to people what you mean, because I don't think anyone understands that.
Well, when the cabinet was nominated, the Democrats and the Republicans basically had a choice to vote for
Mm,
or against these cabinet picks.
right.
So Senator Feinstein voted for Trump's nominees 35% of the time.
Roger that. And obviously, we all come at this from different places. I come from somebody who was raised as a member of the media, as a professional journalist my entire career. So obviously, I have skin in the game because I feel the media, obviously has lost its way under corporate ownership and under billionaire ownership. How critical is it that a small group of citizens voicing their concerns got a top political player out of her SUV on the streets at a $10,000 a head fundraiser to hold an impromptu town hall?
I think that's incredible, and it's a testament to determination and to the fact that people power works. In fact, I think our country would be in a much better place if everybody understood that and practiced people power. So she tried to avoid us, and we were persistent. And she basically realized that if she hadn't spoken to us, that entire fundraiser would have had a soundtrack, and it would have been our voices and our messages. So she got out, and and even then, she didn't commit strongly right away. It took some questioning and a little bit of pressure for us until she explicitly committed to a town hall in Los Angeles after the Gorsuch nomination and before summer. So we're going to remember that. It's on video. It's in the LA Times, and we are now talking to her office to make sure we secure a date.
Well, that must have been an incredible feeling because A, it shouldn't be this hard to get a member of your own party. Obviously, you're talking about the Democrats here. You're trying to shore up the party, I gather. And it shouldn't have been that difficult. And so kudos to Senator Feinstein, though, for actually doing what she needed to do when she got out of that car. I mean, I always appreciate that. I first started covering her in the mid 80s for a wire service, and she's been at this a very long time. Is there anything that she said to you that was encouraging, that made you feel like there may be something happening? Obviously, this is a big day of breaking news in the regime right now. But is there anything she said that really made you feel like, you know what, we got this. This is gonna resonate.
What was very encouraging was the fact that she said that Trump will get himself out of office. It's very likely that she has access to information that we don't, and that is very encouraging. Is that going to happen without people power? I don't think so. I think we still have to keep up the pressure, but it's good to know that things are in the work, and hopefully we can grease the wheels and make sure it happens sooner than later.
And lastly, if you were talking to her right now, what would be your requests from her? What would you like her to say or do right now? First, top three actions, or actually the Democratic Party, or even the GOP. I think we're beyond parties at this point, and this is just a matter of right, wrong, truth, lies.
You're absolutely right. I think the first thing that she should do is come out and call Trump what he is. He is a racist, he's a bigot, he's a liar, he's a cheat. And I would like her to use that language because if you don't call a spade, you're really, you're ineffective. We're beating around the bush. The next thing that I would like her to see is also start endorsing real progressive issues, real progressive solutions. The reason why Trump won the election was due to, in my opinion, due to lack of bold leadership. We don't have a public option. We don't have universal health care. We don't have state-sponsored higher education. There are so many things that are lacking. So I would like to see her take strong stances on these progressive issues. Give people a reason to vote, basically. The final thing that I'd like to see her do is acknowledge that our immigration policies are broken. And they're broken in the sense that we have very valuable and important recent immigrants in our country living with us and contributing, and they're our neighbors and they're our friends. And I would like to see her create a pathway for them to come out of the shadows because it's unfair for them to be contributing members of society and not be able to participate fully.
Thank you, Tudor. And also, I have met along the way in the resistance incredible immigrants, incredible. I'm a German American, I'm a first generation German American, and I have met a lot of first generation German women in particular who are very active in the resistance. And to those who really are afraid right now because they're being guided by fear, because fear is what's selling everything right now, what would you like to tell them again? Democrats, independents, Republicans, people who don't identify with anything. What would you like to tell them about coming over and using whatever assets they have to resist what's clearly, real fake lies by real genuine phonies?
Well, the easiest thing that everybody can do and should do is get involved and start participating. The Indivisible Guide shows us that there's at least 2 Indivisible groups in every district right now. So people are meeting, people are organizing, and it's easy to just come in and plug in. It doesn't matter what your skills are or what your time is. Anybody can make a phone call, anybody can make a sign, anybody can connect through Facebook. Those are easy things that anybody can do, and the more of us get involved, the stronger our movement, and the more we will succeed.
Thank you so much for your time, Tudor. And is there any last thing that you would like to say? Just the feeling that knowing kind of weeks and weeks and weeks of trying and kind of taking this gonzo approach and just showing up at a fundraiser got you your town hall, your initial town hall in any case.
That's right. Well, I think it's very simple. People power works, and everybody should continue to resist.
All right. Well, I thank you so much for your time, and viva la résistance. Resistance. I can't even say it. How do you say it in French? Say it better in
Vive la
German.
résistance.
One more time.
Vive la résistance.
Viva la résistance. Oh, that's going to be what I practice tonight. All right. Thank you.